I don't know if should is in Donald Trump's dictionary, but it certainly makes you wonder what comes next.
Yeah, I think that what we're seeing right now is that the president-elect has not really been in front of cameras very much, but he hasn't been totally hidden from the American public because he's been on Twitter voicing views that are clearly coming from him. That doesn't sound like a staff. Neither one of the tweets that you read or the other ones sound like they had much staff involvement. They were very much, the candidate wants to say that all the discussion about the electoral vote and about Hillary Clinton having a 2 million vote lead is only because of what he says is voter fraud by undocumented immigrants. And that just fits in entirely to his persona of sort of, needing to always be seen as the winner and to defend himself, and also to make kind of unfounded claims and not really, and get them out there and get them spread to millions of people without the filter of a fact check. It's not like he did an interview on TV where he said that and then had pushback from a reporter who could have said, wait, you're saying that there's voter fraud in massive numbers? Why is that the case? How is that the case? What evidence do you have? Instead, he can just put it out there on Twitter, and then every news organization in the country and many internationally pick it up and, may say in their headline that's false or that there's no proof behind what he says, but it's still out there. And as he said in that 60 Minutes interview, it is a way for him. There are people who are just getting their information from his Twitter feed, and so they believe that that's correct.
Alex Padilla, who is the top election official in California, responded to the tweets about voter fraud, calling those allegations absurd, also saying his reckless tweets are inappropriate and unbecoming of a president-elect. This on Twitter. Yeah. David, what could the impact of the most powerful person in the world be being so direct and unpredictable when he's actually in office?
Well, first of all, I think the idea in theory of the president tweeting directly to the people is a good one. It reminds me of FDR's famous radio talks. To have a direct, unfiltered voice that goes right out to the public, to the citizens, should in theory be a good thing. But as Jennifer points out, if he's buying fake news stories and repeating their assertions as if it were fact, and not putting himself in a position where he can be challenged or corrected, that is disturbing and unprecedented, as so many things with Donald Trump are. But I think it's important to separate the use of Twitter from the way Twitter is being used. I think it's great that he's using Twitter so much. For years, I've said, we have leaders who don't understand technology. At least here's a leader who understands something in tech.
And yet, Jennifer, we had the founder of an up-and-coming social media site last week tell us that Twitter should have kicked Donald Trump off Twitter a long time ago because some of his tweets could be called hateful, could be called offensive or even abusive, and that's exactly what Twitter is trying to crack down on. Is there any concern within the circle of people close to Trump about this continuing when he's actually in the Oval Office?
Yeah, I think that this is emblematic of some of the bigger challenges that the people around the president-elect have, is that some of them are very much of the let Trump be Trump attitude and just want him to say whatever's on his mind. And then there are others who want him to become more of a cautious politician, knowing that once he is actually president, even more than as president-elect, every single word he says in any public domain will be parsed incredibly carefully by the press, by the voters, by foreign allies and foes, and that's a very risky thing if it's totally unfiltered.